Terry McLaurin, wide receiver 35, 77 receptions, 120 targets, 1,191 yards, and 5 touchdowns with an average of 7.1 targets per game. Thoughts on Terry McLaurin?
So McLaurin has been a guy that I won't say been against, but I have not been the biggest fan of, right? You've had some people who, yeah, F1 and he's a wide receiver 1 and everything else. And we've kind of gone back through and looked at this and goes, look, like he's wide receiver 23. Like that's kind of what he is.
He's a great best ball candidate.
Yes. I actually like Terry McLaurin this season. Like I like the fact that he is going to fill this dominant role as the true number 1 wide receiver. I think Sam Howell will utilize him as such. And I'm happy to take Terry McLaurin as, depending on your strategy, as your, 3rd wide receiver off the board in some cases, and be able to run with that. And you want to talk, different strategies and flex options. I'd rather have Terry McLaurin in my flex than Gibson or Robinson.
Guys that are going around Terry McLaurin, you've got D-Hop, McLaurin, DJ Moore, Calvin Ridley, Michael Pittman, and then we'll throw Christian Watson and Mike Williams in there too. So like it's kind of that like you don't feel super great about getting a wide receiver there, but like obviously somebody's going to get them, right? Because that's about where they're going. So I think it's fair value at wide receiver 25. Right, coming off the board around wide receiver 25. I think that's at least fair value. Before he was coming off at 12 to 15, right, and ending up at wide receiver 23. So at least at 25, you're drafting him appropriately.
Yeah, where I see him coming off the board at a lot of times is kind of that wide receiver 20. So kind of right there in that range, wide receiver 20 to 25, kind of coming off the board there. Pick 49. So you're talking very first pick of the 5th round on average ADP there. So I think you're right, Kevin. There's some fair value for that one there, but there's other guys that I think I'd rather go with kind of coming off the board in that similar range, right? Keenan Allen coming off, Jerry Jeudy coming off. I'd even rather take a shot on Calvin Ridley and the potential upside of that one, I think, more so than just, again, right, some of that comes down to the fact that I trust Trevor Lawrence more so than what I do with Sam Howell. But yeah, I think you're right. I think he is kind of fair value. Just there's some other guys that personally I'd rather go with in that similar kind of range, but I think that he can return value for you for that draft capital there.